How does one catch a big fish? By baiting it with a smaller fish. Indrani Mukherjea in jail for allegedly murdering her daughter Sheena Bora in a possible deal for clemency opened a Pandora's box about a forgotten 305 crore rupee scam known only to her. The alleged scam began in 2007 when Indrani and her now estranged husband Peter set up INX Media. We need to get some funds to grow our business. They got clearance from the government's Foreign Investment Promotion Board FIPB, who allowed them to get 4.6 crore by selling 46% of their shares at 10 rupees each. But INX Media had already sold shares to foreign companies at 862 rupees per share, eventually raising a total of $170 million or 750 crore. Using some of that money to set up INX News, even though earlier on the government had refused them permission to do so. So when the income tax department found out about this, they asked the Mukherjees for an explanation. Cornered in 2008, Peter and Indrani sought help of the then finance minister, P. Chidambaram, who according to Indrani allegedly asked them to meet my son Karthi, he will help you. When they met Karthi at the Hyatt in South Delhi, he allegedly instructed the couple, transfer $1 million to my company, show it as if you have made an investment. INX Media paid 3.09 crore to various companies owned by Karthi, officially by check. 4 months later, the Finance Ministry gave INX Media its much needed FIPB clearance. Despite reporting a loss of 270 crore that year, Peter and Indrani sold their balance 30% stake in INX Media and exited the company, which was renamed 9X Media by the new buyer. Story over, or so they thought. But it was not over. Unknown to them all, government agencies had been tracking some 900 crore that Indrani had apparently siphoned off from INX in violation of foreign exchange rules. After the Mumbai terror attacks when Chidambaram was moved from finance to home, the Financial Intelligence Unit saw a window of opportunity to pursue the case. But when Chidambaram later returned as finance minister, it appears that the investigations were halted once again. Then two things happened. Congress lost power and Indrani was arrested for an unrelated matter, the murder of her daughter Sheena Bora. In a desperate bid to escape the death sentence, Indrani likely made a deal with the new government.
I'll give you dirt on Chidambaram. Make sure me and my husband are released.
Chidambaram was already under pressure for approving 3,500 crore FDI for SL Maxis, even though he was permitted to himself authorize only up to 600 crore. Acting on information received from Indrani, CBI first raided the former finance minister's house. Then at a 5-star Delhi hotel in February 2018, arrested Karthi's chartered accountant. You are under arrest for managing kickbacks given by INX. Before finally arresting Karthi at Chennai airport when he arrived from London. Released on bail, Karthi went on to contest and win from his father's stronghold, the Sivaganga seat in the 2019 Lok Sabha election. The CBI soon began digging out properties allegedly belonging to Chidambaram and Karthi that were until then supposedly undisclosed. Apartments and land in Delhi's Jorbagh, bungalows in Ooty, agricultural land in Kodaikanal, a cottage in Somerset, UK, and a tennis club in Barcelona, Spain. One of the companies that allegedly received kickbacks from INX had supposedly also received 300 crore rupees from a British Virgin Islands shell company named in the Panama Papers, and whose directors were the family members of the same chartered accountant that was arrested earlier, who collectively had allegedly pledged their fortune to Karthi's daughter. We hereby transfer our 60% ownership to name withheld after our death. The companies also paid for some of Karthi's personal expenses like his Patek Philippe watch repair, dinners, tickets for football matches and Wimbledon, his mobile bills and his domain. But Karthi remained defiant. My friends have paid for it does not mean I am associated with their companies. More trouble was brewing. In July 2019, Chidambaram's name was finally brought fully on record by the special CBI judge. We hereby accept Indrani's plea to turn approver. However, Chidambaram denied ever knowing the accused turned approver. I have no recollection of meeting Indrani Mukherjea. Hundreds of people call upon the finance minister. You'll have to check the visitor's logbook. But this piece of crucial evidence is missing, as the FIR was filed 10 years later and the logbook destroyed due to lapse of time. The CBI's claims to have details of the hotel vehicle that took them to the ministry may not prove as sufficient evidence. But knowing Indrani's history, can her testimony be trusted? Firstly, she herself is accused of siphoning funds. Then she's in jail for murdering her own daughter, whom she had previously abandoned. Chidambaram had until now got anticipatory bail 20 times, but on his 21st attempt was not so lucky. While calling Chidambaram the kingpin in the case, the jurist ruled, "This is a classic case of money laundering. Offenders must be exposed, no matter what their status." In what seemed like a surgical strike to arrest him, 3 CBI teams scaled his Jorbagh residence wall. 13 others were also arrested, including the former CEO of Niti Aayog, ministry officials, secretaries and undersecretaries among others. For the first time, Chidambaram stood in a court not as a senior lawyer but as an arrested accused. "If they prove I own any foreign properties or bank accounts, prosecute me for perjury." After a 14-day custody, he was sent to Tihar Jail number 7, from where he finally emerged 106 days later in December 2019. Already accused in the 2G, Aircel Maxis and INX Media Case, the CBI will now have to prove all this in a court of law, while the BJP will drag out the case to milk from it the maximum possible political advantage. BISBO's limerick. There was a company called INX News that government laws allegedly abused. So when they landed in jail and were denied bail, in a deal for clemency, the finance minister they accused.